Joining me now, Kenneth Holmes, CEO of New Carolyn Gold Corp, and we're talking about the Ladner Gold Project here in British Columbia.
Exactly.
And this is a big chunk of land.
It's 144 square kilometers, 28 kilometers long, straddling a major deep crustal fault. And one of the interesting features is we're only 18 kilometers out of Hope, BC, and just over an hour from Vancouver.
So we're really here, we're talking about tons of infrastructure, tons of, this is going to make it a lot cheaper to put this thing into production.
Yeah,
back into production, because
it was in production in the early 80s.
Yeah.
The Coquihalla Highway actually runs right across part of our property. The portion of the property that contains the mine that was in production is only 6 kilometers up the mountain from that. Short run for power. We don't even have to build a camp because the staff would live in Hope. We've got 4 or 5 kilometers of underground development that gets us down access to the deposit, so we wouldn't have to spend huge on that. The historic mill has been scavenged and is rusted out, so we'd need to rebuild that. And we've got a pristine tailings facility with lots of capacity. So really, it's just building a mill and adding to our resource.
And you have a resource of almost 300,000 ounces.
Right.
There's 5 former producing mines on this property?
Yeah, the Carolyn was the significant one. It produced over 40,000 ounces. The Emancipation's the next one. It produced around 3,000 ounces. And the rest were all smaller artisanal type operations. But the fact is, and they were all, the Carolyn was in production in the 80s, but the rest of them was all like 1920s and 30s and, small operation, but it demonstrated the gold up and down the entire structure. Unfortunately, fortunately for us, that work was really what's all that's been done on the rest of the property. The bulk of our historic drill database is at the Carolyn. There has been some other drilling, but most of that property is relatively unexplored, particularly with modern techniques.
So this isn't like a piece of Swiss cheese that's got...
No.
This is the exact opposite.
Exactly.
Yeah, and so you got all kinds of targets, and you're telling me about some of the juicier ones.
Well, a lot of these have really good high grade, but we do have one occurrence that I would mention to you that I really want to get a drill under this year. According to the records, some old miners took a couple of tons of ore out of this one location and got 30 ounces of gold.
So that's 15
ounces a ton.
At today's price, that's like $20,000 rock or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. It's a big number. Now, I'm not going to tell anybody that I'm going to find a mine with that, but when you have that kind of grade, I want to know what else is there and where it goes. And
sure. And this company was rolled back.
10-to-1 consolidation this time last year. So right now, and we did a couple of raises at higher prices this past year. We did one just at 15 at Christmas, small one, but the other ones were all done at 30 and 35. And even after that, we still only have like 31, 32 million shares out right now.
Right, and some of your warrants that are out there are at 35 cents?
Yeah, the small placement we did at Christmas was just over $300,000, and those warrants were done at 25 cents, but everything else is 35, 40 cents.
Sure. And I know the junior resource markets is not friendly right now. You got to have something, but if you drill some good holes, you get rewarded. Like we've seen it with Great Bear. And by the way, the gentleman that runs that company is on your board.
He is. He's an independent director on the company, but he's
Now it looks to me like you've got the land package. You're in the pretty good area. You've got some permits too, don't you?
We still hold the original permit from when it was in production back in the 80s. Now, obviously, we'd have to do some amendments to that, build a new mill and file a new mine plan, but it's a big leg up over starting from scratch.
Yeah,
clearly.
for sure.
Yeah.
So
and under that, we've maintained the tailings facility. So, and if you see that, the tailings facility is our tailings facility is a big water dam that holds back the tailings. Like, this is not going to be wouldn't be something cheap to build. This would be a multi-million-dollar civil engineering exercise to build that. We don't have to do that. We have it, we maintain it, we go through government inspections annually just to confirm the state of the thing, that it's in good shape and there's not a problem with it. And so it's available to us if we were to ever put the mine back into production.
Have you had many discussions with intermediate-sized mining companies about maybe?
I'm starting that process right now, and in fact, I've had discussions with two companies. One of them is still looking at it. The other one was talking about possibly being a lead order on a private placement rather than a joint venture. But I'm talking to these people about both, because the size of
this is a big project.
No matter what money we raise this year, we wouldn't begin to do this property justice just because of the scale of it.
So let me ask you this question. So looking at the scale of this property and looking at the drilling to date, and you've been familiar with this, what percentage of the drilling has been relevant? In other words, is this thing 10% drilled? Is it 5% drilled?
No, the bulk of the drilling has just been on the one location, the Carolyn Mine.
Right.
And the Carolyn Mine sits on maybe right as we speak now, if you drive into the portals on the different levels, they only go back about 1 kilometer. Well, this is a 28-kilometer long property, and the bulk of the drilling has been around that. So you can imagine just the scale of the property that hasn't been explored with modern techniques. We've got airborne geophysics on the whole thing, but there's no extensive ground geophysics or drilling on.
And this is an orogenic deposit.
Right, a mountain part of the structure is created through the mountain building process, the tectonics, and the geos tell me this is an analog for the Mother Lode deposit in California.
Okay.
And one of the features, and Braylorn, and one of the features of those is they run deep.
That's what I was going to ask you. So how, like, you don't know how deep it can go.
No, exactly.
What altitude level are you at here?
Oh, we're, I don't know what Hope is, but
is it like 3,000 feet?
It wouldn't be that much.
Okay.
It would be.
So it's fairly manageable.
It's high. Oh yeah, it's high enough up that we get lots of snow, but the fact that we drill in year-round from the underground, snow's not an issue.
Yeah. So you really, I mean, this looks like, yeah. If you don't know, I'm kind of blown away about the size of the property and some of the grades that you have here, and a story like that with the 2 tons in the back of the pickup, 30 ounces of gold. Yeah, it's underexplored. Totally underexplored.
Wholly underexplored.
Yeah. So the ticker is LAD, Ladner Gold Project, New Carolyn Gold, and do you have any major shareholders?
We have by default a significant European bank as a shareholder, because they had lent money to a couple of previous owners and wound up with their interest in the property, and we acquired it from them for stock. And that's Deutsche Bank, and they're a significant party, but they're not. At this point, they're a passive shareholder. They're not active in it.
So your stock's pretty well retail held. Would you say that's a fair statement?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And in fact, most of the placements we've done in the last year have been with people close to the company.
So I mean, and we've just had gold back off about $50, and I was thinking that it was about to take off, and a lot of other people thought the same.
Well, I'll give you one comment about that. I'm not a predictor where gold's going to go, but we're still over $1,200. And I did a little exercise a few months back. In our technical report, part of the historical narrative in that report shows the production month by month when it was back in production, 82, 83, 84. So I went back online and I pulled up gold prices during that period. I took the Bank of Canada inflation converter and I converted them to 2018 prices. And during the period that was in production, gold basically went from about, in 2019 dollars, from about $900 to the highest was $1,070. So still well under what we have today. And when they shut down in 84, gold had dropped to what would be the equivalent of about $675 in today's prices.
Right. Right.
So
Price is not bad.
I would love the price of gold to go to 1,400, but I don't think we need it.
Yeah, no. Yeah. And you got lots of infrastructure. So again, right now there's about 31 million shares. How much cash are you sitting on right now?
We've got, you know, a few $100,000. We're looking to do a raise to get the drills turning.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and as it happens, I have a drill. We have a drill sitting at the end of our 835 level, ready to go. It was there from the summer. We did some drilling this summer, and our driller's been fantastically loyal and left the drill there ready to go.
Right. Okay. Anything else you want to add?
No, that's you've touched the basic. Yeah. The basic story of this project is it's a district scale land package
it's a major camp.
Yeah, wholly underexplored, and we're not starting from scratch. We've got a resource, and we've got
permitting, and you've got
a lot of known gold on the whole thing.
Sure.
That's potential.
Okay. Yeah. LAD is the ticker. New Carolyn Gold. Let's watch this one. Thank you.